Hello friends, this is Nitin Singhania. Good evening to all of you. I'll be discussing today on the topic Indian economy, which is a very important topic for UPSC and all other competitive examinations. I'll divide my whole discussion into four particular areas. To start with, I'll discuss the strategy for the prelims examination. How can we tackle the subject on Indian economy for the prelims examinations and other competitive examinations where questions are of objective type. So let us first discuss on prelims. With regard to prelims examinations, if we see the question paper or the trend of last 5 years, we see that from economy around 25 questions do come out of 100 questions. Thus, 25% of the questions from Indian economy, which makes this subject really important for the exam. Now, talking about the trend of questions being asked from various chapters on economics, I must say that 50% of the questions are asked from the chapter Money and Banking and Agriculture. If I talk about chapter number, the most important chapter for prelim examination, that is Money and Banking. Friends, we see that in last 5 years, 2019 there were 7 questions from Money and Banking, 2018 5 questions, 2017 5, 16 and 15 3 questions. So in the range of 5 to 7 questions we see every year being asked from Money and Banking in prelims examination. Second important chapter being agriculture. In agriculture, 2019 there were 3 questions being asked, 2018 7 questions, 2017 in fact 4 questions, 16 2 questions. So again, this Money and Banking and Agriculture, if we both take them together, we see that out of 25 questions, around 10 to 12 questions are being asked every year by the UPSC in the preliminary examination as per the trend of last 5-6 years. So my humble request to all my friends, Money and Banking and Agriculture, these two chapters you have to read and revise very thoroughly so that you are able to attempt all the questions being asked from these two chapters. After these two chapters, public finance is another important chapter. To elaborate, tax structure and public finance is another important chapter for the prelim examination. If we see the trend, you can see on the screen. In 2019, there were no questions, but in 18, again, 2 questions being asked, 17 3 questions, 16 3 questions, and in 2015 1 question. So this public finance chapter again becomes very important. 10 to 12 questions from Money and Banking and Agriculture, 2 to 3 questions from public finance and international economic institutions. In this particular chapter, various questions from the various reports and indices published by international organizations like IMF, World Bank, WTO are being asked very frequently in the exam. So I must repeat, Money and Banking, Agriculture, Public Finance and International Economic Institutions are the top priority 4 chapters to be prepared very thoroughly for the civil services preliminary examination. After this, a chapter on infrastructure is very important because I have seen in 2019, 18 and 17, these 3 years questions were there. 17, 16, 15, 14 and 13 there were no questions from infrastructure, but in recent 3 years I have seen that UPSC is giving an importance to this particular chapter on infrastructure. Please read it very thoroughly. Energy sector in this infrastructure chapter becomes very important. More questions are being asked from there. Apart from these 5 chapters, I must say chapters on national income, demographic dividend, Niti Aayog and planning, industry as you can see, financial market, poverty, inequality and unemployment along with inflation. So these 5-6 chapters along with the priority 4 chapters become very important for preliminary examination. So to prioritize, to strategize the whole study plan for preliminary examination, we can plan in this manner. We can read money and banking, agriculture, public finance, and international economic institutions very thoroughly. And apart from that, chapters like infrastructure, national income, demographic dividend, industry, these chapters along with those 4 priority chapters. So these 8 chapters are of very importance because 90% of the questions as per the trend analysis are asked from these particular 8 sections. But I must say you should not skip any particular topic or chapter because each and every topic is equally important. A question can be there from any of the topic, but to prioritize, to revise just before the exam, these 8 chapters are very important. So this can be a strategy for prelim examinations. For prelims, you should practice a number of mock tests, and by seeing the mock tests, you can identify your gaps and prepare from the analysis or from Google or from various other sources. But you should ensure that you are able to comfortably give mocks, and when are you appearing for the just a day before the preliminary examination, you should make sure that you are at least revising these 8 important chapters. So this is with regard to an approach to preliminary examination. Now, if I have to talk about the main examination, friends, I must say that in main examinations in GS paper 3, around 9 to 10 questions are asked every year as per the last 6 years trend. And among these 9 to 10 questions being asked, questions from chapter on agriculture is more frequent, and at least 2 to 3 questions are asked every year from agriculture. So friends, a humble request to you, agriculture both for prelims and mains is very important. You should read the chapter very thoroughly. It's a huge chapter. A lot of topics are there to be covered, but revising it again and again will make you more comfortable in this particular chapter on Indian agriculture. Now, complementing this chapter on agriculture, I have seen questions from land reforms, irrigation, and food processing industries. So, seeing the trend of the main exam, the table of the main exam, I can say agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, and food processing industries. These 4 topics are really important for the main examination. From agriculture, you can expect 2 to 3 questions. From land reforms in 2019, 18 and 17, there were no questions. But from 13 to 2017, a question was asked every year. From irrigation, 2019, 2 questions. 2016, 2 questions. So you can very well expect a question from irrigation. From food processing industries, 3 questions were there in last 3 years, making it very important. So to club them together in one group, let us club 4 chapters: agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, and food processing industries. I repeat, agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, and food processing industries. These 4 chapters are a must for the main examination because an aspirant can expect at least 4 to 5 questions from these particular chapters. Because in last 6 years, I have seen that from these 4 chapters, 4 to 5 questions have always come. So if you are able to cover them very properly, half of the work is done. After that, from a chapter from public finance and union budget. I take union budget as a part of public finance, the current union budget. So I have seen that from public finance in 2019, there were 2 questions being asked, and in 2013, 2 questions were asked. In union budget, I have seen question coming from in the year 2018, 17, and 16. So again, friends, this is a new trend which is being found because before 2013-14, from the current union budget, no questions were asked from the current union budget. But recently we have seen that UPSC has again shifted the focus, and from union budget, the present union budget, there is a question being asked in the main examination. So public finance and union budget, you can expect one or two questions. So if I summarize it, 4 to 5 questions from 4 chapters, which are agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, and food processing industries. From public finance and union budget, 1 or 2 questions. The third important area is infrastructure. In infrastructure, UPSC is very frequently asking questions on sectors like energy and urban sector. So energy and urban sector you have to read very thoroughly, and I have seen you can expect one question in the main examination from a chapter on investment models, which is specifically there in the syllabus of the main examination. In investment models, we can very well expect one question, because in 2017 and 16, 17 2 questions were asked. In 2016, one question was asked, and in 14 and 13 again one question was asked. So from investment models, we can expect one question. From the balance of payments, again one question. And from Niti Aayog, there was a question in 2018 and again 2015 and even 17. So I'm sorry, this was in 2018 and 2016 from planning and Niti Aayog. So this chapter is equally important. So to summarize for the main examination, 9 chapters are very important. Friends, you can take a note. The first being agriculture, the second being land reforms, the third being irrigation, the fourth being food processing industry, the fifth being public finance and union budget, the sixth being infrastructure, the seventh being investment models, the eighth being balance of payments, and the ninth being foreign exchange and foreign trade. So these 9 chapters are very important for the main examination. Now for this year's main, I can suggest some topics which may be important. Like from agriculture, we see that a question from topic known as cropping pattern is very frequent. So my humble request, please read this particular topic on cropping pattern very thoroughly. Food security, crop insurance, fertilizers. In the year 2019, there was a seeds bill. So question can be there from seeds bill. It is an amendment, or it may replace the existing Seeds Act 1966. There can be a question on Consumer Protection Act, because there is a new act replacing the old one, that is Consumer Protection Act 2019. So you can very much expect a question from this particular topic. A question may be there from contract farming. Contract farming is again very important. Then while in the recent economic survey, there was a very interesting and important topic given on mechanization of agriculture. So friends, this particular mechanization of agriculture can be a direct question in your main examination. And along with that, a topic on animal rearing. So I must repeat, from agriculture, cropping pattern, food security, crop insurance, fertilizers, seeds bill 2019, Consumer Protection Act 2019, contract farming, mechanization of agriculture, and animal rearing. So I think that these topics may be important for the upcoming year's examinations. From the topic on land reforms, Agricultural Land Leasing Act and digitization of records. I feel that they may be important for the upcoming year exam. From irrigation, UPSC has a continuous emphasis on micro irrigation and watershed development. So micro irrigation and watershed development becomes very important. Please read it very thoroughly. There is also a scheme, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. There can be a question in prelims as well as main examination from this particular. And there is also a scheme called Neeranchal National Watershed Project. So this again can be important for your main examination. So for irrigation, I must repeat, micro irrigation, watershed development, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Niranchal National Watershed Project. This can be an important area to be revised very thoroughly. From food processing industry, there is an important scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. A very important scheme. Friends, please read it very thoroughly. Along with that, mega food parks are always important because every now and then you see a new mega food park being launched. Recently, one being launched at Mizoram. So, friends, very important. Along with that, I must say, in public finance and union budget, a topic on fiscal consolidation, 15th Finance Commission recommendations, a question on disinvestment or deficit financing or maybe GST can be there in the paper. So again, you have to dwell upon these particular topics very thoroughly. From the infrastructure, as I've already said, energy sector and urban infrastructure is very important. And there are some new policies and new acts which have come. So you have to take them into consideration while reading this chapter. From investment models, UPSC has a special focus on PPP projects. So PPP projects have to be revised very thoroughly. From balance of payments, foreign direct investment has been given a special emphasis by UPSC. And in foreign exchange and foreign trade, I can hope a question on internationalization of rupee or full convertibility of rupee or the reserve adequacy or maybe a question on foreign trade policy. So friends, the priority chapters for mains, as I have repeated, I must repeat once more. Agriculture, as you can also see on the screen, agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, food processing industry, public finance and union budget, infrastructure, investment models, balance of payments, and foreign exchange and foreign trade. So these are the priority areas for main examination. So with prelims, I hope everyone has noted down or has in mind that for prelims around 8 chapters are important: money in banking, agriculture, public finance, international economic institutions, infrastructure, national income, demographic dividend, and along with that you can add upon industry. So these 8 topics. And mains, I've already told you: agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, food processing industry, public finance, infrastructure, investment models, balance of payments, and foreign exchange and foreign trade. So this can be a strategy, or this you can strategize in this manner. We can focus more on these particular chapters for prelims and main examinations. But I must request you that reading all the chapters at least twice becomes very important, because in economy, the concepts, the current affairs are so much interlinked that if you are not able to connect them properly, it's very difficult to solve answers. So this can be a strategy for prelims and main examinations. Now, with regard to what you can add on, like many students, many aspirants ask me that what particular book to read or what particular book to refer with regard to covering the syllabus on Indian economy. I must say that there is no single book or single source which is sufficient to clear this examination. There are a large number of books which are available in the market, including NCERTs. If an aspirant has time, he or she must start with reading NCERT. Reading NCERT will actually help him or her to develop interest in this particular subject on economy. After reading NCERT, what one can do, one can see the previous year questions of the UPSC civil services examination or any other examination he or she is preparing for. So the strategy for reading this, covering the syllabus on economy, if you have time, start with NCERT, then solve the previous year questions to understand the gap, to do the gap analysis, that by reading NCERT you have known that much knowledge, and actually in the paper this much is required. So by doing this gap analysis, you will become more curious to go into the depth and read them. So after that, you can actually take any one trusted source or book, and from that you can read the whole book twice. After reading the book twice, you will get to feel that all the topics are not covered in that particular book. I'm sure in any book covering all the topic becomes very difficult. Seeing the trend or the mammoth of syllabus there in our examination. So any one trusted source you pick up, you read it very thoroughly. After that, what you do, you actually uh, see the index or the table of content of the other books which are there in the market. You don't read the book, you read just one source, but you must see the table of contents or the index of other books and try to note down the topics which are missing or not there in your book which you have read. So you will and try to make a note on the topics which need to be covered for a particular chapter. Say for agriculture, in your particular book you have around 25 topics which have already been covered, but from the previous year's questions or from the mock questions, you get to know that these topics are not there in my book. So definitely you might be getting those topics in another book, or you can take the help of internet. You can find those topics in various trusted sources like Arthopedia or Vikaspedia or Wikipedia or Investopedia. So these sources you can actually collect informations and make small notes within your book, or maybe in a copy along with that, so that additional topics you should not be reading from any other book. Just stick to one book, and for additional topics you make your own notes from the internet or from I think internet will be more user friendly for you rather than dwelling upon any other book and again reading from there. So let us revise the strategy for the whole economy. First, read NCERT if you have time. Then try to see the previous year questions. After the previous year questions, pick up any trusted source or book. Read it very properly. After that, try to make an index of topics and make notes on those topics from Google or and sources like Wikipedia, Investopedia, Arthopedia, or Vikaspedia. Along with that, I must say that questions are a number of questions are current affairs based. Like in a particular question, the concepts and current affairs are correlated. So and I have seen that even 15 days before the exam, the current affairs have been covered and are very much there on the paper. So to actually manage that challenge, what you can do, you can actually refer to sources and update your book with the current affairs. What might be the sources? The sources may be very trusted sources like PIB or the RBI website for the chapter on money and banking. Like recently we have seen RBI came up with a report on there was a fiscal financial stability report and a monetary policy report. So these reports becomes very important to be covered for the exam. Along with that, you must be referring to current affairs booklets or the newspaper. My humble request to you, you should read the economy portion very thoroughly from the monthly current affairs booklets. And nowadays, students very much refer to PT 365 special editions, which actually come in the month of March, April. So from there also there is a separate booklet on Indian economy, which is very helpful for the examination. You must cover that to update your book with the current affairs and facts. Along with that, in the month of February, we see economic survey being published by the Government of India. I have seen aspirants reading an abridged version of Indian economy, but this is my humble request that instead of reading an abridged version, at least reading economic survey once is very helpful, both for prelims as well as main examination. So you should give the full reading of economic survey at least one. It doesn't take time if you have already understood the concepts on Indian economy and you have read a standard book before starting Indian economic survey. So please, economic survey, read it at least once. And there is a statistics supplementary given by published by Government of India along with the 2 volumes of economic survey. That statistics supplementary, I have seen that the questions are very frequent from the analysis of that statistics supplementary, and I've also tried to incorporate those important areas in my book. Becomes equally important for exam, friends. So after doing all this, just 2 months before the examination, practicing mock questions on current affairs becomes very important. You must practice current affairs based mock questions on economy, so that if a question is there in the exam, you can manage. Along with that, from those questions, you will get to know many new topics which are already there and you have not read, or which might not be there in your book, or from the notes you have made. So you can also prepare on those particular topics. So my strategy would be not to sticking to one particular book, but rather than that, uh, uh, reading from one book, but making an index of topics and covering those topics very properly. Reading Niti Aayog report becomes very relevant for the main examination. It helps to write very good answers, like reports on sustainable development goals by Niti Aayog, and reports on various socio-economic indicators like health, education. They actually help you to write good answers in the main examination. So if you have time, my humble request will be read at least once those reports by Niti Aayog, which might look relevant to you, and the current year's budget. So these all these sources, I think you can add upon to your one particular trusted source or book to have a comprehensive preparation for the Indian economy. So friends, we have discussed till now the approach for prelims examination, the approach for the main examination, how to cover Indian economy in both prelims and main examinations, and what kind of source you should use. So this is the main area which you can ponder upon to have a good preparation on Indian economy. Now, coming to this book on Indian economy, published by McGraw-Hill Publications, I can say that the book has been divided into 19 chapters and 2 appendices, and a good amount of research and analysis has been done with regard to the past year questions which were asked by UPSC before framing the chapters, to make the chapters user friendly, because in this era of information overload, we all want a crisp and comprehensive information in one particular source. So what I've tried to write those chapters in point form in order to save time of the aspirants. The keywords have been highlighted so that even in the main examination, if a question is asked, like a question is asked of a 10 marker or a 15 marker question is asked in the main examination. So just by taking into account 10 to 15 keywords, they can easily write or manage an answer in the main examination. So I've tried to actually highlight those keywords which might be very relevant for the examination. I've tried to give information more through tables, flowcharts, and boxes, so that students actually enjoy reading the book, and they don't get monotonous while reading the book. Analysis of economic survey has been merged or incorporated within those relevant topics, so that unnecessarily they don't have to again look upon economic survey and link those particular areas. It becomes really difficult. So I have tried to actually incorporate whatever is important there in economic survey. I have included in that particular topic in the book only. With regard, as we know, the Indian economy is very dynamic with regard to UPSC. Very lot of questions are asked based on current affairs, and because the whole world is facing through this COVID-19 pandemic. So we might expect even questions from the economic measures which have been taken by the government. Huge number of measures have been taken. So we might expect a question on the measures to tackle this COVID-19 pandemic. Along with that, previous year questions have been given at the end of every chapter, so that you easily get to know the trend of questions, or what are the important topics which have to be covered, to make an aspirant updated about what is being there in the current news. I have tried to include a monthly. I have tried to give a monthly online update, 4 or 5 pages monthly update every month will be is there in the online link, so that whatever update comes, an aspirant can link and actually make them ready for the examination. So these are the various aspects I have tried to dwell upon and to focus in the book, so that it becomes user friendly. I have tried to make it a one-stop solution. I know that any particular source cannot be a one-stop solution, but still an attempt is being made. I hope everyone enjoys reading that particular book. Now, with regard to so this is the whole strategy or the new approach to learn Indian economy. With regard to an overall strategy, as many of the aspirants do ask me that what can be the overall strategy to prepare for the UPSC civil services examination or other competitive examinations. From my experience, I can say that I was also an aspirant like you. So I also did many mistakes, which actually made me to give 2 attempts to clear this examination. The first mistake I did in my first attempt is that in the preliminary examination, I attempted very less questions. So this was again a big mistake by me, because if you attempt less questions out of 100 questions, suppose if you attempt 60 to 70 questions in your preliminary examination, it really becomes difficult to get the answers right. So the best strategy would be to maximize the attempt. I used to attempt 85 to 90 questions in the preliminary examination. So this was one mistake I did in my first attempt, which I rectified in my second attempt, and I could clear the second attempt comfortably. What other mistake I did in my first attempt is that I read from too many sources. My humble request, just stick to one particular source and try to add upon topics in that particular book, so that it helps you to revise very easily. Initially I used to read newspapers a lot. In the morning, around 4 to 5 hours were spent by me on reading newspaper. This was again a mistake I did. Instead of reading conventional areas, I used to give a lot of time to newspapers, and was really difficult to actually revise them properly before the exam. So in my second attempt, I revised my strategy. I focused more on the monthly booklets, current affairs booklets published by various trusted institutes. So I used to revise them very properly. So this again helped me in the second attempt. Another mistake I did in my first attempt was I used to wait for the results to be published by UPSC. Like after the prelim examination, generally it takes 2 months to for a result to be published. So for an aspirant like me, he or she does not prepare, and is always in a dilemma that whether he or she will be able to clear this examination or the prelim examination or not. So in that way, he or she loses two important months for the preparation. In my second attempt, just after my prelim examination, I started preparing for the main examination, and this actually helped me. I covered the optional first. Just after my prelim examination, I revised the optional again, and this actually helped me to cover it very comfortably. And after my prelims results, I revised the general studies and along with my optional once more, and comfortably appeared for the main examination. So this was again really helpful for me in my second attempt. I have seen many of the aspirants, they actually change optionals in between. My humble request to you, you spend your time before choosing an optional, but don't change your optional after you give your first attempt or in between. It really becomes difficult to manage. With regard to how to choose an optional, I think the most important factor for choosing an optional is your background and your interest. If, like, suppose if you are from a commerce background and you have an interest in commerce, definitely commerce can be the best optional. Don't try to look after optionals or rumors that these particular optionals give you more marks in the examination. There is nothing like that. In every optional, one can score very good marks. So it depends upon your interest and your background, and along with that, whether there is any good material available or not in the market. So the first, the test for choosing an optional would be, first you see your background, whether you are comfortable with the background or not, and whether that background is allowed by UPSC to be used as an optional. Second, you see whether you have an interest in that particular subject with which you have a background. Otherwise, you change the optional and go for a subject of interest. So first is your background, second is your interest, and third is the availability of good study material. So this can be a strategy for choosing an optional. And for me, having a mentor and doing group study helped a lot. In my case, R.S. Agarwal sir from Rankers classes played a very crucial role as a continuous guide to me for 2 years during the process of preparation. Friends, if you get a good mentor to actually help you and guide you and to motivate you throughout the preparation time, it actually helps a lot. In my case, I was not able to concentrate alone. So in my case, group study helped me a lot. I used to group study with one of my friend, and it helped me a lot to learn and understand the concepts. So this was again uh, uh, very helpful to me. With regard to optional, as the subject is very specific and very huge, making short notes for the optional helps a lot, because in one particular day you have to appear for both the optionals. First, paper one in the first half and paper two in the second half. So it is always better that you make a short notes of around 50 pages for optional one and 50 pages for paper two, paper one and paper two of the optional, 50 pages, so that at the time just before the exam you can easily revise them very quickly in one day. So it will actually help you to revise twice, thrice, or even 4 or 5 times before the examination very quickly, so that in your optional you can score very well and have a very good overall rank in the UPSC. So this is again, this was very helpful for me, that I used to make short notes on. I did not make any short notes for GS, but for optional I made, and that this strategy actually helped me a lot. Finally, I must request everyone to have a trust and confidence on you. This exam is all about trust and confidence, and you must have a trust firstly on yourself, on your mentor, on if you have joined any coaching institute, on the coaching institute. The books you are reading, you should have a trust on that particular book, and you should not keep on changing the sources. You might spend you may spend time at first to choose a book, but and don't keep on changing the books. It becomes really difficult to actually manage them. And at last, uh, keep a faith on Almighty. He's always he's always there with you, and you will definitely clear. I know this. People say that this exam has a lot of luck, but the harder you work, the luckier you are. And this can be the mantra for a UPSC examination. Always have a plan B in your mind. If you are not able to clear this examination, there has to be a plan B for your career. Becomes very relevant and very important. So I think these are the important points which can be looked into and taken into consideration as a overall strategy for the UPSC examination. And I've already shared the strategy for the economics, Indian economy topic for preliminary and main examination. Friends, thank you so much. It was I feel privileged to share whatever little experience I have with regard to civil services preparation, and I pray to Almighty and I wish that you are all able to clear this examination with flying colors. Thank you so much.